Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to my Deadman Mode series, which I'm finally able to release. I'm actually pretty excited about this. I've been playing Deadman Mode for about a month now. Yeah, it's been out for that long, and I haven't been able to release any of my YouTube clips on it just because I've been so busy with school. So, since I finally have an opportunity to do that, I've got a lot of catching up to do. So you've got a lot of content to watch to catch up to where I am in game right now, because I'm miles and miles past what you're going to see in this clip, in this video, and even the future ones to come. But we will catch up. I will get these out, and hopefully you guys will be able to follow along with my progress as I go. And maybe if you need some advice along the way, you can do some of the similar things that I've done to get myself to the point that I'm at now and where I'm going to go in the future with this series. Jeez, finally, after the hell that was Tutorial Island, we were able to get off of it because Skippy popped up. But yeah, after 2,000 people trying to do the same exact thing at the same time, nothing could load in the game, so it took us forever. So I'm going to be following a certain path on Deadman Mode that I've written up myself. I'll show it on screen. But basically, it's starting out by spawning in Ardoon from Tutorial Island and finishing at Desert Treasure. So this is how I want to start my Deadman Mode series, and this sequence should get me from start to finish pretty successfully. So I started out with 5 thieving and knocked out 2 inventories of cakes so I could get 20 thieving. The 20 thieving isn't really significant, but I just figured that it's a good number to stop at for now. Waterfall quest is obviously the first quest on the list for us, and that's how most people start the game anyways, and I figured I'd probably do the same thing with Deadman Mode. I do want to get to the PKing eventually, but I really want to start Deadman Mode by questing and getting Barrow's Gloves, and I considered going for Quest Cape for a while. I actually strayed away from that a little bit, but so this whole sequence is to get me to Desert Treasure as quick as I can, because as I figure, the more people that have access to Desert Treasure when I'm doing it, the more chance that I have of dying. So I'm going to try to knock that out as quick as I can, get these quests and the prereqs knocked out as quick as I can to do so. So what I've done on screen and what you can see, and you can pause the video if you need to, is a list of the levels that I need to get, the skills that I'm going to save, and the quests that I need to do to get from Tutorial Island to Desert Treasure in what I see as the most successful manner. So that's what we're going to be following through the first videos here. And if you haven't done a lot on Deadman Mode and you need a way to start out, that's not a bad way, and it's worked for a hell of a lot of people in my stream and my CC that have been pretty grateful for it. So I'm happy with it, and we'll continue on. Now this is something I was really, really excited about, and this is because this is a world first for me. I guess that doesn't make sense. I guess it's a poll first, and it's definitely not a world first. Actually, technically it is a world first. Anyways, I was able to finish Waterfall Quest, and I don't know if I was the first to finish, but I was definitely the first to finish and log off, because for the first time ever, I was rank 1 in 2 skills, attack and strength, well ahead of everyone else, and then maybe 2 minutes later there were like 30 other people with 30 attack and strength. But lifetime goal achieved. I achieved rank 1 in 2 skills at the same time. Not too many people can say that, and that's probably the best thing I've ever done on Deadman Mode, or any version of any game. It's not a big achievement either. I don't know. Maybe that's kind of sad. Anyways, going to get to some agility training, because we need 30 agility eventually to continue on. When I get some downtime, I can train agil at Varrock at that point. But I don't want to hit rooftops until Varrock, because both Drainer Village at level 10 and Al Kharid at level 20, pretty dangerous areas. I mean, Al Kharid, a lot of it's multi-combat. I don't know. I think a little bit of the agility course goes into multi, not a lot of it, but I could see people PKing there early on, and I just don't want to deal with it. And the experience gain is so damn fast, it's probably not even worth me leaving the Gnome Stronghold for agility training elsewhere, because the time that it takes me to get from here to Drainer Village, I could have got 2 or 3 more levels, and at that point it's not worth it. I should just do it here. It's a safe area, it's a guarded area, get 30 in maybe 20 minutes total, and we'll move on from there. Okay, so I forgot to go over something earlier, and that's the saved skills. Now, Deadman Mode, you could save 2 combat skills and 3 non-combat skills. You guys all know this, I don't really need to explain that too much. But after spawning in Ardoon from Tutorial Island, I went ahead and saved Thieving, Agility, Mining, Attack, and Strength. And the choices there, they take me from my spawn to the Lost Tribe quest, and that's the next quest after Waterfall in the sequence. So that's why we're mining right now. I need to get 17 mining. It also requires 13 Agility and 13 Thieving. If you remember, I have 30 Agility now. I have 20 Thieving now from getting my cakes. Right before I did Waterfall Quest, so we're good to go there. So we're going to do this, we're going to knock out the Lost Tribe, and then we're going to move on, maybe do Death to the Dorgashan, and then we'll get into Druidic Ritual in our sequence. So as expected, I slipped in the sequence of events that I had earlier that you saw for my Deadman Mode plans. I forgot one thing, and that's that the Lost Tribe quest requires Rune Mystery, so that's what we need to knock out now. We're going to do that real quick as a group. just for protection's sake. I've got about 10 people questing with me for my CC or so. So we're going to do Rune Mysteries, then we'll do the Lost Tribe, and then Death to the Dorgashen. So that finishes up Rune Mysteries. I think now what we're going to do is we're going to go train some melee stats just because we need a little bit of HP, and walking around with 10 HP at this point is probably not a good idea because now people should have about 40 range as I take it, and maybe even up to 50 mage or so. So if we run into anyone, that's a problem if all of us have 10 HP, and we've only done Waterfall quests, so we would definitely need to get something going on. So we're probably going to train up to about 25 to 35 combat, and then move on with our quest sequence and get some gains going. Ah, geez. Clanman mode has begun. So this is my quest group, and I've got somewhere between 10 and 15 people with me from my stream, most of which are subs that are rolling around with me doing some quests and pretty much just sticking as a group so we don't run into any trouble along the way with the early questing. Since there are already some level 50 mages running around just demolishing everyone. I think Skill Specs and Bodhi are two of them as well. But this finishes up the Lost Tribe quest for us. And I was actually just told that we don't need to do Death to the Dorgashen to use the Dorgashen crossbow, and that's why we're doing this sequence right now, so we can have a pretty decent and cheap range method that is going to pretty much smash any bronze or iron arrows out there, because there's not going to be too much besides that. If you want to go buy steel arrows, that's pretty expensive from Low and Varrock, so that's our biggest threat right now. So figured get 28 range, get the Dorgashen crossbow out of the way, and we'll pretty much be a threat at that point that no one's really going to want to mess with too much. So we're going to do some range training as a group, and once we finish that up, we will be buying our Dorgashen crossbows. And one more cow should finish it up for me. 28 range knocked out, so I can use the Dorgashen crossbow now. Just going to wait for the rest of my team to finish up since I'm a little bit ahead of them, and we'll be buying those and continue on with our questing. So I actually think we're the first ones with this quest done, and the first ones to access these, and we actually probably going to make a good amount of money, just merching these. Though I don't know if you actually have to have Lost Tribe done to use the bone weapons. I think you probably do, so maybe it wouldn't have been massive since no one's going to want to buy it if they can't use it at this point. But we finished this up. We've got our Dorgashen crossbows. We've got an awesome range training method. So I'll distribute these to the group after we buy a few, and we can continue on. Look at this, 605, one of the subs in my CC hooked us up with 18 used short bows for the group, and that's what we're going to need for Temple of Ikov quest later on. So I think he was the first one able to make those. So those are actually the first in the game. Not bad. Got a little bit of downtime since I'm a little bit ahead of the group, so I figured that I was just going to knock out some thieving levels while everyone else catches up on some questing and whatnot, maybe some skill training. To get 42 thieving for Temple of Ikov, and got a little bit of extra cash that some of my group is providing us with, so figured we'd go buy a couple of rune pickaxes just to throw in the safe deposit box to suck up that money for now. Oh no! Salty Sickner! The first person ever. Actually, I think this is the second person, because Elvis skulled earlier. Well, okay, second person from our group to accidentally skull, and unfortunately later on got attacked by some random and killed. None of us had the balls to kind of skull and protect him because we all care about our skills. Kind of selfish. Anyways, we got a druidic ritual started and completed so we could unlock Herblore, because we need to get 10 Herblore so we can do the dig site quest so we can continue on in our Desert Treasure series. So that's what's next on the list. Unfortunately, we don't have the herbs for it, so we have to all, as a group, well, we split up. I think we did about 2 people per world, but everyone basically got the thieving level to come camp Chaos Druids in a relatively safe location, at least at this point in time, because people at right now are PKing at the Edgeville Dungeon Chaos Druids, because that's where everyone's trying to kill them. So we camped out here a little bit to get some Guam leaves, some Marentals, and got ourselves 10 Herblore, and then ran into another problem, which was one of the members of the group, Dead MJ 23, accidentally skulling. Which usually wouldn't be too much of an issue, but Dead MJ is rank 5, so we felt the need to protect him. So we did so, we got him to safety, and everyone lost their skulls, including Omniscius, who risked his life and skills to protect him. Major props to Omniscius, he's a much better person than I am. Oh, this poor guy just ran in front of our whole group with 4 keys. And I was able to kill him fairly simply. Got a few steel arrows, which is pretty crap. But I'm excited to finally get my first key loot, and 79k. Can't complain with that. The other ones are pretty horrible. 5k, 1k, 820 GP, 32 GP, not that great. But this 79k key I am excited about. and it has 194 maple logs, which is actually a decent amount of money this early in the game. And there it is, yet another quest done, and this one's a pretty important one because this is Ava's accumulator that we can wear now with animal magnetism complete, and our whole group knocked it out pretty much, which is pretty beneficial for all of us because everyone else has to run around picking up their damn arrows, and we no longer have to do so we can train easier. We can also PK easier because we're not going to lose our arrows along the way. But anyways, guys, this is going to wrap up video 1 in the series. I know it's a slow start, so bear with me on that. I've got a lot of content to get through, but I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, you should hopefully enjoy the rest of the series. Later, guys.